Hello and welcome to the Diva Talks Live Show. I am your host, the Diva, and tonight, guys, I am super excited. Tonight, my special guest is none other than Mr. Treat 'em Right, Mr. Chubb Rock. Hey, Chubb.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's going on?
How are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you. I hope you're
Abs-
doing well.
I'm doing really, really good. Excited, because I know, listen, I say every week, thank people for, their busy schedule. You are extremely busy, and I witnessed that. So thank you once again for coming out. I haven't seen, it's been a while.
Been a
You
good
did
while.
my, yeah,
Been a good
you
while.
did my 40th birthday party. So I remember you then, and what I remember vividly about you, Chubb, is not only did you do a concert, you did a Q&A. And we all found out some things about you that I was very surprised. You were very honest. You were very open. So I'm just going to allow you some time to tell the world, who is Mr. Chubb Rock?
Uh, you know, my love at first was music. Making records. I was blessed to be part of, I guess, the golden era of hip hop during what I believe is the golden era of hip hop. Mid '80s, early '90s of hip hop, and got a chance to work with some great people during my journey in music, which is still continuing now, but then I've transitioned into broadcasting and radio and things of that nature. But the first love was definitely, music, and we made some what I believe to be some good records and some long lasting records with Treat 'em Right and Just the Two of Us and Chubster and some things like that. And then we were able to do some great collaborations over the years, I'll Be Sure and Barry White and tons of people, Eric Robeson and
Right.
Jeff Bradshaw, and it just keeps going on and on and on. The Great Kashif and all kinds of records. If I had to sit back and really start thinking about it, but so I'm proud of those records. I'm proud of my time in music. Mm-hmm. And I love what's going on now with broadcasting and radio, especially Black radio,
right?
And what we're doing out there, and just during the pandemic, you kind of don't take anything for granted these days, and
exactly.
And we've lost a bunch of friends, unfortunately, in the music side, and we just lost another great music person, Chucky Thompson.
Right, I saw that.
Yeah, incredible producer and extremely talented, and so we don't take anything for granted. We're just just happy to be here and happy to try to speak to our people and do some other things along the way as God gives us permission.
Absolutely. So now, when you said your first love was the music. What made you become a rapper?
When I came in the early days when we were just kids, a good friend of mine named Dave Witt, he was like really into it, and he showed me the stuff that he was doing, and I was like, wow, this thing is incredible. I couldn't believe what he was doing. And then my cousin Howie T, who brought me into the game, him and Dr. Ice from UTFO, Howie was making records. He had did his own group, CD3, and they had this record called Get Tough. And then he started working with Full Force. Oh, wow. And working with UTFO and working with a group of his called Whistle with Kango Kid. And then he was working with the Real Roxanne, and wow. And I was able to kind of be there because we're cousins. Our mothers are sisters.
Okay.
And so I was always at the house and watching his brilliance and stuff. And you just got hit by the bug. That during that time it was new, it was electrifying, and I was like, I need to be involved in this. And and it started with him saying, hey, let's do it. Let's get something going. Him and my boy Doc Ice, and it all began.
Treat 'em Right, 1991, and we are in 2021. And when that song comes on, it's like it just came out yesterday. I mean, did you ever imagine that it would have such a legacy?
No, it's interesting because when we were working on that album, which was actually the third album, Treat 'Em Right is on the third album. And, for about, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 months when that record was released, it didn't garner any buzz to it. It was very slow moving getting that record out there. That's why people say, like you just said, 91, right? But
Right.
we actually finished that record in 89 and it was released in 90. But that's how long it took before it really took off, almost a year. They were ready. The label was ready to say, hey, man, we're not going to make it with this record. Let's go to the next record. And then all of a sudden God came in and just, things started taking off, and Arsenio Hall. Yeah. And Arsenio Hall looked out for us. And then the great Don Cornelius looked out for us on Soul Train, and KMEL with their big festival looked out for us. So then, then it just took off from there. But it took a minute. It wasn't overnight at all.
And now look at it. Everything in time. Everything in time. I just want to. I have the lyrics here, and I'm a lyric person. 1990, Chubb Rock jumps on the scene with the lean and a pocket full of green. Did that mean money?
Yeah, I guess so. Back in them days, it was kind of braggadocious stuff. Pocket full of green. But the green didn't symbolize I made it on the top. So, it was all that kind of stuff. But
wow.
It was it was a record that definitely we never thought would get to this level. Now they have dance challenges to it. There's all these videos out there with people dancing to it. TikToks going crazy with it. And that's great because, there are artists that make a lot of hits, but it's very difficult to make a classic. And I think that record is a classic.
No, I know it is.
And it's very difficult to find one of those, when it comes to hip hop. There's a lot of hits, there ain't too many classics though.
Right. And the thing about it is, this was in the 1990s. And as I say, 2021, and you have the new generation who, bouncing with it as well and remixing it and things of that nature. So you should be proud. You should be proud because I mean, I love all your music, but you put Treat 'Em Right on, you're going to get the party started.
Yeah, we're happy about that, but that's because of the kindness of DJs and, people of that nature and radio and stuff like that. So, and everybody in there, playing it at their barbecues and things of that nature. So that's the reason why you get a classic, and, it's funny. I always say that, like, they got newborn babies, right? And some of the first music they know is Michael Jackson. And you sit there going, how do they know Michael Jackson? So, but it's like those kinds of records just live on forever. And if I have one, then I'm very proud of what we've done. But we never knew that was going to be that kind of record. No way in the world did we know it was going to be that kind of record.
Now, are you working with? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, what'd you say?
Are you working with some of the same people that you worked with years ago, or has things changed?
Oh yeah, I mean, Howie's my cousin. We check in with each other all the time. He always asks me to jump on new things that he's working on. Nice. I always stress him about new music and stuff like that because he's so brilliant. And then my brother Rob Swinger, who's been my brother since I was 8 years old when we moved into the same area. My brother Doug, same situation. So yeah, we don't really change. We got the same friends for all these years. We're old school. Right. So it is what it is. But and then of course Swinger, he's involved heavily with my broadcast efforts.
Okay.
What we do on the radio side.
Okay.
He's one of our producers for the radio show and what we do. And so, yeah, the circle is pretty small, good friends that we have. DJ Corey.
I know him.
Yeah, you know him. Who's been a friend of mine since we've met. And we don't even have to see each other. And if we're going to do a show, he just says, are you ready? And we already know the sync already because of all the years of doing shows together and friendship and stuff like that. So
Awesome. Shout out
I've
to
been,
Mr. DJ Corey.
yeah, I've been blessed with that, to be around good people, and so I'm happy about it,
Awesome. What do
especially
you
during
think?
these days.
Absolutely, because I'm telling you, they don't make them the same. They
Yeah.
really, really don't. So what do you think about the rap music today? What's your feel on that?
Well, it's interesting because that's usually the number one question I get. And my thing is, the young folks, they have perfected the business side of the game.
Mhm.
They're making more money. They know their worth. And I think that's incredible. The only thing that I don't like about it is only what goes on outside of the music side of it, which tends to sometimes be violent. There's too many young rappers being killed, and I really don't understand it, to be honest with you. So at the beginning of our show, we would always give a big shout out to anybody that passed away. And it was maybe about a year and a half ago, I started realizing, like, wait a second, every day I'm saying rest in peace to another young boy rapper. And these are all young black men, because none of the women, are involved with any of this kind of violence.
Right.
They're out there doing business. Megan is doing business. Cardi's doing business. Saweetie's
Yes.
doing business. Mulatto's doing business. They're not involved with any of the violence that is taking place. But it's just our young black men that are brilliant. But somehow there's this like black cloud or dark cloud over it. And that's the only part I don't understand, is the killing and stuff like that. Them doing their music, I'm always going to support. Want them to go out there and have the fun that I had when I was making music, and see the world and meet new people, build your legacy and everything. But it's just the violence part of it. I don't understand the violence part of it.
Now, do you mentor?
We do, not usually any young music people, even though working with some young people now out of Florida that have more of a singing vibe to them.
Okay.
Which is great stuff. They got a new record called Summertime that we're going to try to help them with, and stuff like that. But not too many of the hip hop guys, because now we kind of transitioned more into broadcasting and more helping, because we've had like some interns teaching them broadcasting and more of the mass communication side of it. But there's a disconnect sometime with old school rappers and new school rappers. And I wish that disconnect wasn't there. It could be because of certain criticisms. I don't know. But I wish that the connection's a little stronger, so we can not really guide as far as the business side of it, because they're doing brilliant with the business side of it. But just outside of the business, what's going on, again, with the violence and things of that nature.
Wow. Well, you'll be an awesome mentor. I'm sure that you are doing great works with the people that you are working with. Because again, like I said, you did a Q&A at my party, and I think you said you used to teach, or you went to school, or you wanted to teach, or something like that.
I mean, I always wanted to be a teacher, and we did well in school. Music came in and kind of disrupted a lot of that, but I always say to myself, as long as I have health, we could always continue that road. We're doing that now, teaching, and I'm developing a couple of curriculums on the mass communication side, because a lot of the schools now, especially maybe in the HBCU side of it, because we don't have the kind of funding that other schools have.
Right.
Sometimes the curriculum can be a little a little outdated.
Okay.
Because the technology changed so quickly. And so that's why with our interns, we showed them not theories, and we didn't, we weren't there to show our interns, okay, open your book and take notes. No, touch the buttons, touch the computer, and we have a living show that has to happen every day, and you have to be part of that on the technical side. That's how we teach, not by saying, okay, look at the car, that's a carburetor, and I write this down now. And then, but no, put your hand in there and go and fix what's going on. And yeah, so it's very hands-on. And I think we need a little bit more of that with the curriculums, because, you know, when you graduate from school with a mass communication degree, you can't go somewhere and say, oh, now teach me your technology. Right. You know, if you don't know what it is, there's no way in the world you're going to get the job. You know, you could have all the letters on the planet behind your name. It means nothing if you don't really know, you know, what you're doing. So we're trying to do our part with that. I mean, we're just a small show or whatever, but we're trying to do our part, and we'll see what God has in store for us. But so far, so good, because the interns that we had for the summer, we had them for about, because they weren't in school last semester, so we had them a little bit longer than usual. Oh, great! And they did extremely well, and I mean, soaked it up like a sponge. Awesome. And I think that's, you know, the future of what we would try to do, even when the time comes when I say, okay, well, I had enough of doing radio now. I'm going to take it easy now, but we're going to teach, you know, this kind of thing. Maybe we'll become some kind of annex to different programs at different schools. You never know what God has in store, but we'll figure it out.
I'm definitely going to keep my eye on that. So, Chubb, young person, just graduated from college and didn't have the opportunity to have you as a coach or a mentor, and want to get into the music, say the rapping game, or even broadcasting. What is some advice you would have for them?
Well, those two things are different roads, right? So music nowadays is about extreme consistency. And you cannot just say, hey, man, I got a couple of records and, oh, wow, they didn't do well. Now I'm angry and this person is to blame. That person is to blame. No, it isn't like that at all. You got to keep making music if that's what you love to do. If you're making music just to make money, that's probably not the right reason to make music, because music is an art. That got to be something that you literally eat, sleep, drink, think about all the time. And you know, you just you have a lot of platforms in which to put your music out there. I wouldn't give your music away for free. That's a misconception. You got a lot of young people say, well, I'm gonna put it on this platform, put it on that platform. You can get it for free. Let me know, you know, how you like it. And it's like, for some reason, only with us do we believe we have to give our talent away. And that doesn't make sense to me. You can give a snippet of it, but why would you give it away? So at what point do you sell it? And then people say, well, but I already gotten the other 8 records for free. Why would I have to buy this next one? So I think that somehow that misconception got sent to a lot of young artists. I don't know how, but this is still the music business. And you still got to be able to sell your music so you'll have money to make more music and keep until you catch that one hit. You catch that hit and then you go from there. That's why the ladies of hip hop, they know what they're doing, man. They are the marketing geniuses of music. You know, Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B and Saweetie, you know, who I just seen with some kind of McDonald's thing that she has now, some McDonald's partnership with her own Happy Meal. I mean, the ladies,
Cardi B with the Pepsi,
they got it, man. They know, they understand the marketing of it, you know. And I think that young artists and new artists got to understand the marketing and the promotion of it, and then the consistency of it, and being creative, because you can't just be creative on just the song, because the song is only 50% of it. You got to be creative with everything that comes after that. You know, when it comes to marketing, promotion, how you're distributing it. And because people have a very short attention span now, so you really got to know what you're doing to, you know, because they can look at it for 1 second and say, "Oh man, this is incredible." Then all of a sudden, somebody taps them, and it's like, "Oh, let me go over." You know, kids, their attention span is very quick, so you gotta be creative on how you keep their attention. But what's different from now, from back then, is that you can do it and own it all.
Okay.
You don't have to be on a label. You can do it all. I mean, literally, if you go into a studio in your bedroom. I go by even that little kid, Soldier Boy. He's grown now.
Yes.
But when he was younger, because it was my son who put me up on him when he was, I don't know, 15, 16, and he made his record in his room or whatever it was. I think his mama gave him an iMac or something like that, and he did his own record.
Wow.
It just shows like you can really do it all. You know, you can be the distributor, because everything is digital now. You don't have to press records and everything like that anymore. You don't have to press CDs. There's no more record stores, really.
Right.
So everything is digital. So you could be the label, the distributor, everything. But it still takes consistency. It doesn't make it easier.
Right.
You could just, the focus has to be there. But the reality to it that's different than when we came in the game is you can get to the customer immediately. Back then, our customer had to say, "Okay, I'm working at lunchtime. I'm going to leave my job. I'm going to go to the record store. I'm going to look for some new music. I'm going to buy the Public Enemy record." Right. Now you don't have to do any of that. You can get to that record immediately with the press of a button. So, so yeah, I mean, it's a different time. It's harder because there's more people making music now.
Yeah.
And there's more things to kind of, distract people. But it has to be consistency. If you're thinking, "Hey man, I made 3 records, I'm going to be a rap star," that's never going to happen. This has got to be something that you're consistently doing. It's like, I guess it's like exercise, right? You can't say, "Hey, I'm going to eat really well one day."
Right.
Right. It's a journey or whatever. So, but on broadcasting, it's very different. Broadcasting, broadcasting has skills and techniques you got to learn.
Right.
And there's no way to fake that. There's no way to kind of navigate around that. You got to learn things, learn software, learn how to hit the post, learn delivery. So that's more of a skill-based thing. And the more you do it, the better you're going to be, be better at it.
Wow. Well, you're doing a great job. Tell everybody where you are, where we can hear you, what radio station, all that good stuff.
Well, we're syndicated now. So we are on 15 stations across the country. And but you can, depending on where you are, if you just want to hear the show anyway, we have our own app, which is Vibes, VYBEZ radio in the Apple Store or Android, or chubbrockshow.com if you want to just go to that link on the website and hear the show. And then depending on what city you're in, you could hear us on the FM, Buffalo, WUFO, and all other places, Toledo and Oklahoma City, and, there's Augusta, Georgia. I mean, there's a bunch of cities. Nice. And then we have our old school hip hop show, Digging in the Crates, that's on 30 stations across the country.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and then we have what I think, if I'm not mistaken, still the only syndicated Caribbean show on about 7 stations across the country. So if you need to hear us, you should be able to pick your poison and come and hang out with your people real quick. And say it again.
But if you're in Buffalo,
but if you're in Buffalo, yeah,
they'll be able to see you in person at the Rose.
At the Rose, those queens reached out to me. The pandemic really hit our Black-owned businesses across the country, and these queens have a restaurant, Black-owned, and went through some hard times, like every other restaurant. And my mother was in that business, and I said, "Hey, I'll come by and do an old school party down there. Hopefully you guys could raise some money to, keep everything going.
Nice.
So Sheila Brown and WFO was like, Chubb, whatever you need, we're in. They've always been supportive, and like I said, I want to support our Black businesses. And my man DJ Corey said, "Yo, Chubb, I got your back. I'll be there to DJ the joint for you." So we're gonna go down there, have a nice party out there in the Rough Buff.
Yes.
Which is like one of my homes, man, because I would always come out there and do parties, and we always had a great time out there in Buffalo. And we got friends that are like family, and
right.
And we're gonna just go out there and have a good time on Friday, August 13th.
Yes, 199 Scott Street, the Rose. We love Lisa and everybody, the staff, and we love Wuffo as well. Thank you, Sheila Brown and Chubb. It's been real. I'm just super excited just hearing everything that you have going on, that you actually squeezed me in to do this interview. I really appreciate you. I really
we're family. Anytime you need me, that's not a problem. And I'm glad that you're doing this forum. And anything I could do to help, because the whole podcast game, I think, was just an incredible thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just it's like a 1-2 punch, and I think it's incredible. And we can get certain things out there to our young people, to our communities, through podcasts like Diva Talks.
Yes.
And people can hear about, obviously, their favorite musician and things of that nature too, and have fun and bug out and stuff like that. So next time, maybe we'll do it again with some of the alumni. And the alumni is a crew that I put together, and we go on shows together, which is Kwame, Special Ed, Moni Love, and Dana Dane.
Bring it. I'm ready.
Maybe we'll get the crew on there, because you could do more than 2, right? Multiple people can go in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, multiple, up to 10 people at least.
Yeah, and then we can go and talk about, what the crew is doing out there as we navigate through this pandemic that might, unfortunately, get locked down again. We might get locked down again. So, and then we just have to find ways to entertain the people, and because depression is real out there.
It is.
And mental health and things of that nature. So things like this really help people. And I appreciate the fact that you're doing this.
Thank you so much, Chubb. I appreciate you. I'll be talking to you again on Friday, and we'll talk again to bring you and the crew back, the alumni, and just keep doing what you're doing. Treat Them Right is number 1 on my playlist. I have about 10 playlists, and you're number 1 on all of them. And
you're going to host that show at the Rose, aren't you? Aren't you hosting?
I am hosting. Yes, I am. I'm hosting. Listen, guys, Chubb Rock live in the building at 199 Scott Street, the Rose, downtown. I will be the host. Chubb Rock will bring the music. DJ Corey will be on the 1s and 2s. It's going to be an old school party. So that's where you need to be.
Without question, man. We're going to be sweating some cream and H out. And we're going to just have a good time out there, So like we always do in Buffalo. We always have a good time out there in the city of Rick James. So come out there on Friday. We're going to have it, do something really nice. And a party with a purpose as well.
That's it. Party with a purpose. I'm not going to hold you any longer, Mr. Chubb Rock. I appreciate you. God bless you. I can't wait to see you Friday. And
big shout to your people coming up on here, like Jennifer Green. Big shout to all these people that came and was watching us today. So you guys are appreciated.
Yes, Jennifer, that's my girl. That's one of my biggest supporters. I can't see the names yet, but shout out to everybody.
Lisa Roosevelt, all of that.
Yes, Lisa, that's the owner of the Rose, so you know who that is.
Oh, Absolutely. Lisa, yeah.
Lisa,
we're gonna do it up big.
Do it up big. You are totally awesome, amazing. Thank you. And to my studio audience, as always, thank you so much for joining. You didn't have to, but I'm sure glad that you did. Listen, the cup today, it says, my mom forever, never apart, maybe in distance, but never at heart. Last week, I interviewed my baby girl. This week, she's back in Maryland, so I'm missing her. So I had to bring the cup I do a cup every week, Chubb.
Okay.
A different cup. So I would have brought one that reminded me of you, but I'm missing my baby, so I had to bring one reminding me of her. But I'll get it the next time. I appreciate you all. As I say, you can't make anyone else happy if you're not happy. So find your happy space and make sure you stay there. Chubb Rock, we out.
Stay well.
You too.